name is Schuetzler, and I'm Senior Director of Global Commercialization at Beam Suntory. Beam Suntory is the world's third largest premium spirits company, and our mission is to craft the spirits brands that stir the world. And we have about 4,400 employees worldwide. We are headquartered out of Chicago. We are a subsidiary of the Suntory Holdings Corporation. We represent about 20% of their annual sales every year. I lead the project management office, or as we call it, global commercialization. So my team, basically, we own the stage and gate process. We own all the project management tools and the project management expertise. My daily role in Planisware is actually pretty low, but what I use it for is more extracting reports and being able to summarize up for our senior leaders, where's our pipeline going? Do we have a sufficient pipeline? Do we need to change our resources? We have a lot of discussions based on resources coming out of the system. So I use the tool as an information pool more than an active project management. In the spirits industry, like many sort of trend-forward industries, innovation is key, and it's about innovation at the right time. One example would be flavored bourbon. 10 years ago, no one was talking about flavored bourbon. Now, if you look across the industry, it's a massive volume driver across many people's portfolios, including our own. So if you're not in the market with the right product at the right time, you kind of missed out already. So that's really a key part for us, is how do you get innovation once you've identified the right thing? How do you get it to market quickly? And on the right schedule, time, in terms of resources, and integrating all those different functions. We became a larger company with a much more stable portfolio of brands. You kind of need a better way to manage that portfolio of the projects as well as the brands and figure out what's the right thing to work on at the right time with the right level of resources. So that was kind of the challenge set out by our executive leadership team, is how do we get more efficient now that we have scale on our side now. Short-term goals were to kind of get our arms around what does our portfolio look like, and we need to do this in a more organized, efficient fashion. Long-term, we obviously want to drive innovation faster, cheaper, more efficiently. So that's what, at the end of the day, we really want to drive, is how do we get innovation out as fast as possible with the right metrics. And then I think on our base business, how do you do all the base business stuff that's required to manage a current business with the least amount of resource pull as possible. Our key stakeholders were really our executive leadership team, but primarily our chief marketing officer and our chief supply chain officer, who are the owners, or let's say our gatekeepers of our stage gate process. So to me, that was a key piece to have. A lot of times you find that a project management organization can be pigeonholed into one, wherever they report up to, that's the only senior leader that cares. But I do think that in this scenario, having two people with competing daily needs paired up together to help drive success was an important piece. So the number one thing we liked about Planisware is we could build the tool or build the platform to match the work we have to do, versus the other way around, which is what we historically had, which is you have to kind of fit your way of working into what the system will allow. We use Planisware for all of our commercialization projects. So summary of that is, if it's a product going out the door to be sold to a consumer, it comes through Planisware system. So what that means for us is we roughly have an average of 400 to 450 projects at any one time active. And then we have a team of 24 project managers, 2 administrators in that group that have administrative rights. And then we have an active user base of about 550 people. So that could be someone who goes in once a month. It could be someone who goes in every day. So depending on their role in the organization and what they do on each project, their level of actual familiarity or need to be in the system changes. I think I shared the one I'm most proud of, which is the 18% increase in number of projects. I think the nice anecdote there is along with that 18% increase of projects, the time to market is actually directionally less. So we're not only doing more work, we're doing it faster. And again, with the same number of people. We're only 6-7 months in, so we don't have a lot of long-term data showing what the trends have been over years, but I think directionally for us to see that uptick in terms of number of projects with a downward trend in time, that to me is a really good early signal that we're headed in the right direction, knowing that we've already identified probably another half dozen or a dozen things that we think we can continuously improve over time in partnership with the Planisware team. The part that we've really changed is bringing a consistent format of data and expectations to each gate. So it's no longer about who can sell the best idea at the right time in the room. It's more about bring all the same data across all the different projects and have an evaluation of what should we do. And then we can have the more difficult discussions around, okay, it's a great idea, but how could we make it bigger? How could we make it more efficient? Is it the right time to do it? We don't have to have a different tool that we take into the stage gate. We literally extract information from Planisware, which creates a pre-read deck, which we then use in our stage gate meetings. So it's a very integrated tool. So now doing something in Planisware is now just the way work gets done. I think we faced a lot of prioritization challenges. So what is the right thing to work on at the right time? So that's something that we've started to leverage the Planisware tool to help us with, is now that we have visibility to all 450 projects in the pipeline right now, when are they delivering? How are they delivering? And I think the second part about our Planisware implementation that I think was key to help drive this is we use the embedded P&L tool. So we're able to then extract information, do reports based on what is our pipeline going to deliver, not just in time, but what's it going to deliver financially. So incremental sales, incremental profit. So now we can do an extraction and do some analysis around how much resource am I taking to deliver how much benefit at the end. And if my ratio's off, if I'm burning a ton of resource on low benefit, maybe I should have a prioritization discussion about that. I do think that's the key thing that we were struggling with before, is how do you get your arms around all this data? And prior, we had a lot of offline information, so every P&L was held in a separate file, which you can't really roll up to one sort of format, and they were oftentimes in different formats. So if one person delivers a PDF, the next person delivers an Excel file, you can't do anything with that data. Now that it's all in one system, all in the same format, all with clear expectations about what someone has to show up with financially, now we can extract that and do something with it at the end. Our workflows before we had a system where you would track only very, very high level milestones. Now we have a tool that in Planisware that we can say, this represents the actual work required to do something, whether that's a very quick project or a full multi-year innovation. And it's less required to be an expert individual that knows how to get everything done from front to back. It's more about, can someone help manage through that process, and does each person at each step know what they have to do to deliver the project? We don't have to have subject matter experts that just know how to get work done. The problem before was workflows would get stopped and you didn't really have visibility to why or where it was getting stopped. So you would know that the liquid isn't being developed on time. Okay, why? Who do I need to talk to? What's holding it up? Is it a technical problem? Is it the brand team isn't approving the liquid that is the result? Is it that the liquid isn't meeting consumer results? Those are three possible workflow problems, but very different solutions to solve. So I wouldn't say that all of a sudden all of our issues have gone away, but we have availability of data to say, that's where we're stuck. We know that it's with Randy, and we need to go talk to Randy and figure out what do we need to do to move this forward? And everybody has that visibility. It's not just one or two people on the project. It doesn't have to be the one project manager who then talks to Randy, who has to then communicate that and hopefully get the team all on the same page. I think what we were able to do is utilize some of the automation tools in Planisware to help us take tasks that were manually pushed through the system by a person before and automate those where possible. Our data right now, early read, is we're delivering about 18% more projects through our pipeline than we were before at zero incremental headcount. So in terms of our efficiency and effectiveness, we're seeing a lot more of that very quickly. I mean, we're only 6 months into the implementation. To see an 18% increase with zero resource change is a pretty significant win for us. Planisware is used every minute of every working day, I could say. I mean, there's not a time at this point where I don't walk by one of our project managers' desks and see Planisware up. So the general day looks like people come into the office or work from home or wherever they are, and because we're in the SaaS application, they can access it anywhere they want, and we don't have any issues. We did single sign-on, so we have really easy access for people, and it looks like I get up in the morning, people go to Planisware. We're teaching a behavior of go into Planisware, check out your to-do list, what do you have to do today? If you're a project manager, go into Planisware, look at your timelines, is anything scaring you, do you need to address something? Really teaching that the tool is our one source of truth. So a daily use of Planisware is very high among a core group of users. If you are the user that's in it once a month, obviously you're not checking it every day, but then we have very key notification metrics to make sure that they do know when to go in. So I think the daily life of Planisware in Beam Suntory at this point is it's an integrated piece of our daily life, and it's just the way work gets done now. It's not the new tool anymore, it's how we project manage. SaaS support has been great in terms of our ability to reach out to, again, our key account people, whether that's Doug or the standard support team that we go to for different configurations. So I do think that that's been a model we like. We love level 1 configuration. So we're able, most of the things we've done have been items we get to change. We can own the change. We can run the change management. We don't have to, pay an hourly fee or anything like that to get that. We control the resources there. I see us working together all the time. I mean, at this point, we don't have a large desire to change project management systems very often. It's something that takes a lot of organizational energy and focus. So I do think that, we're basically trying to partner with the Planisware team now to say, here's some ideas we have. What would it look like to implement that in the tool, whether that's through the v6.2 upgrade or even things that aren't even in that upgrade. For us, some specific things, we're in a consumer packaged goods business. Artwork is a big, important piece for us. That's an area of the tool that we want to partner with and say, how could we make this tool, this part of the tool even more efficient? Yeah, you could take it offline and route it through another. There's many artwork routing and development programs. The problem is it's usually a critical path item for us. So if you have a critical path item that you're doing offline, it's hard to get visibility into your critical path implications if anything gets delayed. Or it becomes another manual intervention a project manager has to do to take information from system A and put it in system B. So what we want to really do is how can we get the best artwork management tool integrated into Planisware? And I think we do know that that's an area that we want to improve upon, and I know some of the other CPGs in partnership here have said that's a tool that they like to use as well. Okay. So definitely a developmental opportunity between the two of us to partner on.